What's up, everyone? This is Tony with JRNYcrypto. In this video, we're going to be doing a quick crypto news and market update and discussing why I believe that Bitcoin could be on an uptrend starting around mid-July. Lots of great things we're going to be discussing in this video. Very bullish for end of year. So before we get started, I do appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell to be notified when I make new crypto videos. Alright guys, so not much going on with the markets today. We do have a steady decline after Bitcoin did reach 34,000 and Ethereum hitting 2,000 again. Now down 3.5%, nearly 5% for Ethereum. Bitcoin's still at 32,600 though. So we still are in this accumulation phase here, and this is playing out pretty accurately to the Wyckoff accumulation. We did get an article on Cointelegraph I'm going to go over about this. So it's not going to follow exactly, but it is an indicator with us moving within these brackets that we could be on an upwards rise, especially heading out of Q2, which I'm going to talk about as well. There's possibilities of new institutions and companies and big names acquiring Bitcoin after they release their balance sheet. So with Bitcoin dropping and testing the high 20,000s yesterday, we did get a green hammer candlestick pattern here, which I think is bullish, showing that after the major sell-off, buyers outnumbered the sellers and pushed the price back upwards, showing major support here. So it is confirming this major support for 30,000. Even after that drop, slightly going under it, we did go slightly over the major resistance here not long ago on June 15th. So we're still in this accumulation phase. I think this will continue for at least another week. I am bullish for mid-July though, and I'm going to talk more about this. So on Investopedia, is a hammer candlestick pattern bullish? The hammer candlestick is a bullish trading pattern, which may indicate that a stock reached its bottom and is positioned for trend reversal. Specifically, it indicates that sellers entered the market pushing the price down, but were later outnumbered by buyers who drove the asset price up. So we have been talking about the Wyckoff accumulation phase for the last few weeks since the market crashed, since the Wyckoff distribution schematic played out just before this. And that played out pretty accurately as well and lined up with the Tesla FUD and Elon Musk, and then China FUD and all kinds of bad news arising, causing the market crash down to 30,000, and then pretty much holding support here between $30,000 and $40,000 over the last month. So this is playing out so accurately. There's starting to be articles on this. One not too long ago today, Bitcoin bounced from 28,800, activates century-old financial models bullish thesis. Bitcoin's recent push from under 30,000 to over 34,500 asserts hopes of a big price recovery ahead. So this is talking about the Wyckoff distribution and accumulation schematics. So we did have the Wyckoff distribution schematic here play out fairly accurately, and now it's looking like the accumulation schematic is also playing out, although some people are saying it's too early to tell. We do have a lot of people talking about this, and there's a chart here showing how we would be on a recovery, that we are in phase C, testing that spring here and moving upwards back to $50,000 Bitcoin. So if we did hit that spring in phase C with hitting $28,000, and we're moving into phase D here, we will be testing around $35,000 to $40,000, and then breaking that major resistance around $42,000 before we move into phase E, where we break out of this accumulation phase on the upwards rise again back into the bull market. So while it appears this accumulation schematic is playing out fairly accurately, it does not guarantee we're on the upwards rise, and it's not going to play out exactly the same as well. We have to keep in mind we're at the mercy of manipulation here, so major money can push this whatever way they want. If they wanted to cause more panic, I wouldn't be surprised at an attempt to crash this to $25,000, breaking us out of this accumulation phase, causing further panic that we will be dropping into a bear market and dropping below $20,000. So that is a possibility as well. Bear market is not out of the question, and a bull market is not out of the question either. Previous data from the other bull markets show that we haven't reached the peak of this bull market, especially with institutions and major corporations getting involved and offering Bitcoin and crypto services, which are still on the horizon here for end of year. So it is quite strange that this accumulation phase is lining up with the end of Q2, because with the beginning of Q3, we will have institutions revealing their balance sheet, showing if they did accumulate Bitcoin. So that is going to be very interesting to see which companies acquired Bitcoin and how much they bought. If we get a company revealing they bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin or more, someone besides MicroStrategy, then that's definitely going to be bullish and give us that fuel we need to really kick us back into an upward trend here. So we also have to keep in mind we're at the very beginning of institutional adoption, and really only Tesla and MicroStrategy have acquired over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy continuing to buy on every major dip here. So we will get other companies doing this eventually as well. Imagine if we had 10 MicroStrategies buying up millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin every dip. That's really going to take a ton of Bitcoin out of circulation and really help drive the price up. Supply and demand, there's only 21 million Bitcoin that can ever exist. Around 5 to 8 million of this is estimated to just be lost forever. Satoshi Nakamoto holds a wallet he's never touched with 1 million Bitcoin. So after considering that, there is much less Bitcoin that's actually available out there, and then all the whales that won't even be willing to sell until Bitcoin hits $1 million or more. All of these things have to be considered. So when we do get major institutional demand at some point, when we do get clean energy for Bitcoin mining, when we see Tesla accepting Bitcoin as payment, I think shortly after that is when the floodgates are going to open, and we're going to get a massive surge of demand from institutions, which will kickstart retail demand again as well, which I think is when we're going to see Bitcoin passing $100,000. So this could be end of year, it could be in 2020, but I do think it's going to be happening here within the next year and a half. So something on the horizon to consider. We will be seeing which companies acquired Bitcoin for their balance sheet within the first couple weeks of July here, first couple weeks of Q3. So we did get a lot of articles on major news outlets about Bitcoin surging after testing the high 20,000s on CNBC here. Bitcoin surged as much as 18% after a wild day that saw the cryptocurrency briefly drop below $30,000. This was only for a couple hours. I definitely think this was manipulation. I heard Chinese Bitcoin miners sold off a massive amount of Bitcoin. Bitcoin sank below the key $30,000 threshold Tuesday, at one point briefly erasing all its 2021 gains. So we haven't seen those levels since the end of 2020. Thinking of that is pretty crazy here. So personally, I will be acquiring Bitcoin anytime we drop below $30,000. So we had Senator Cynthia Lummis talking on national television today about buying the Bitcoin dip, and they did state in this, she's the only known senator that is actually holding Bitcoin, and she said she hopes it stays in the 20,000 range so she can buy the dip. She believes in this in the very long term. She talked about another stock she bought very early on that did have a massive crash, and she continued buying for the long term, and it's her best investment ever. So another article stating we're near the bottom, Bitcoin price very near bottom with $30,000 dip, says Bullish institutional report. Stack Funds draws attention to this week's $2.3 billion Bitcoin options expiry, with a potential change in sentiment coming thereafter. So another thing that's been causing some panic in the space is the Bitcoin and Ethereum options expiry. So that alongside the death cross, the China FUD, and everything else that's going on alongside the manipulation, I could definitely see why the crypto space has been rocky, but regardless, we have stayed in this accumulation phase and haven't really broken below the $30,000 major support line and held there. So that is a good sign in my opinion, and I do think things could be looking up. As this article stated, the sentiment could be changing beginning of July, especially if we start getting announcements of institutions that acquired Bitcoin for their balance sheet. So another interesting article here I missed yesterday, Blockchain Capital secures $300 million in funding from PayPal and Visa. So PayPal and Visa, this is a good sign. It shows they're continuing to move forward in the cryptocurrency space, both doing cryptocurrency related services alongside MasterCard and possibly Apple soon as well. Blockchain Capital has attracted investments from PayPal and Visa and other investors to the tune of $300 million for its fund VLP. So the cryptocurrency space continues building and moving forward regardless of the market crash and volatility in the short term. Fundamentals continue rising, which is a great thing. This is why I'm here for the very long term, and I have a long-term investing approach. Although I do some day trading in the short term with a small percent of my portfolio, most of my portfolio is long-term, and I'm staking and lending this, earning passive income on it while it's appreciating with time. So another thing to consider here is the countries looking to make Bitcoin legal tender. Recently, we did have El Salvador is first through the door with this, and this is massive. This is mass adoption to its highest degree, in my opinion. It starts with small countries, and then it continues growing and has a snowball effect until Bitcoin is a global currency. So very interesting. CZ from Binance posted yesterday, I heard CoinMarketCap will start to rank countries that accept crypto as legal tender. So hopefully we see a few more countries by end of year, a few more institutions that hold $1 billion or more Bitcoin on their balance sheet, all things that are really going to boost the crypto space forward, which is why I don't think we're in a bear market at this point, unless we see MicroStrategy and Tesla selling their Bitcoin, which is not going to happen in my opinion. Then I do think things will be recovering here throughout the summer. So that's it for today's crypto news and market update. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate if you guys subscribe and hit the bell to be notified for my daily crypto videos Monday to Friday and sometimes on the weekend. You can also learn more about my cryptocurrency strategies in my cryptocurrency guides playlist. A link to that is on my channel here. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.